Oh my goodness, that is so big. If there's a fish that swims, I need to catch it. Freshwater, saltwater, from a boat, from a kayak, or from 4 inches of ice. I thrive off the new experiences fishing gives me. I'm an ex-fishing guide turned videographer, calling Lake of the Woods, Ontario my home. I'm Jay Siemens, and this is the Canadian Angle. Well, spring has sprung. One of my favorite things to chase, once the water warms up a little bit, is ice out pike. And that's what's on the menu today. We're putting a little twist on it. Got the kayaks, we got the fly rods, and we're gonna do a little crash course on fly fishing for pike. See what we can put together. Well, I might have lost a shoe, but we made it to the lake. And you know, sometimes you gotta work for it. Today we're working for it with the kayaks. I'm pretty excited for what's in store. There's a lot of species that can be a little hit or miss after ice out. Pike aren't really one of them. When that water warms up, they are hungry. They've come off the spawn. They spawn when the ice is, typically still on the lake and those creeks start to open up. And now they're post-spawn, they're hungry, and we're gonna find some warm water and hopefully tangle with a couple on the fly. All right, we made it out here. I think we have the lake to ourselves. I think that's pretty safe to say. And the biggest thing I can say for finding, and this is more so than just pike, but pike in particular, is finding that warm water. So we're looking for bays that are disconnected from the main lake, that dark water warms up faster, those shallow muddy bays. It hits that optimal temperature. And for pike, I like it when it hits like high 50s, low 60s for the first time. And right now we're seeing like 55 in the main lake. So it should be touching close to 60. So I'm excited. I was gonna say paddle. We're gonna motor a little farther into the bay and we're gonna get rigged up. We'll talk a little more about specifics, but these are my two offerings today. Something a little smaller, it's gonna run a little shallower, and this is gonna be a little bigger and run probably a little deeper. It's got a faster sinking line. We'll talk about that more later, but we gotta get a fish on the board. Fish, first cast. Hopefully that's a good sign. Typically it's a bad sign to catch fish on your first cast, but this is a good intro to fly fishing fish. It just shows you that even a small fish will attack a big fly. All right, one day he's gonna be big, but today's not that day. Oh, nice one. I can see him, he's right by the boat. He came up right up to the kayak. Watch this. That fish was hungry and looking for that fly after it popped out. I'm just gonna twitch it behind the boat. Oh, he's behind it. He's behind it, look at this. Oh, come on. That fish came just racing after my fly. And that's the thing about pike, is they can swim faster than you can strip. Stripping is this reeling that I'm doing. When I'm pulling the line, that's stripping. And I'm keeping the line pinned in my index finger right there, so I can hold it tight. So my retrieve is like a fast strip and then a pause, like a hang, kind of like how you'd hang a jerkbait. Fish on? Ooh, this fish has a little weight. Well, we were just trolling between spots, and that's something I love to do because whoa, we might have a big fish. I love to keep a line in the water because I'm only going a couple miles an hour, so may as well have your fly dangling behind the kayak, and sometimes it results in your biggest fish. Oh yeah, that's a great pike. That's more what we're talking about. Whew. Oh, that's a good sized gator. Here's a little trick. If you're not sure the fish is tired yet. If you touch the tail, they don't like that, and sometimes they just take off like a rocket ship. Like that. And that right there just expels a little more energy. So then you know when you do hand land them, they don't thrash in your hands. Nice. That is why you troll between spots right there. What a start to the day. That fish has some weight to it, and it just couldn't resist the whistler. All right, that is gonna be a big old pike one day. Amazing, amazing. This is what we're using. For pike, muskie, that sort of stuff, you're looking for probably somewhere from a 9 to a 12 weight. This is a 10 weight rod. Great, if I had to pick one weight for fly fishing for pike, it would be a 10 weight. And then as far as a reel, reels pretty much, they just hold your line. Like having a nice drag is good, but a lot of the fighting you're doing with your hands. So this is a floating line. So this orange section is all floating. And then I have a chunk of fluorocarbon, the clear stuff, 40-pound fluorocarbon, and then a steel leader on the end to my fly. So it's not complicated rigging. I think sometimes it can get a little overwhelming with all the knots and everything you need, but we're going from your fly line to a chunk of clear fluorocarbon to a leader.
The options for pike flies can be overwhelming, but let's be honest, if you get the fly near the pike, there's a dang good chance he's gonna eat it. In the dark tannic waters we were fishing today, I picked flies with some flash. On the 10 weight rod with floating line, I used a red and white whistler, and on the 12 weight with fast sinking line, I used a big profile tinsel billfish fly. Between these two options, I was confident if we could get near some pike, we would catch them.
There's the outflow. Fishing near the outflow. Oh, there's a fish. Ooh, that feels all right. Oh, this feels heavy. It hasn't really done anything yet. Oh no! Oh, that was something substantial. Oh man, oh, he's there. He's there again. Look at this, look at this. Oh, there's two of them. There's two big ones. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh my goodness. That was absolutely bonkers. I've never seen anything like that before. I had one on, it got off. He's behind me again. You're kidding me. There's two big ones. I might get this fish yet. This is wild. These are good sized pike. Oh, wow. Oh man, I gotta kill the motor. I don't even know what I just saw. I've never seen two pike together like that before. Give her the old death grip behind the ears. All right, there we go. A fish that size, this is, you know, far from a trophy, but such a battle on the fly. And if you want to get into fly fishing, I'm not sure if there's a fish that's more fun than a pike. So aggressive, those strikes were, I mean, that interaction was everything. But we'll put this baby back. Sweet. So I think so many people, when they think about fly fishing, they think that you're, you know, casting the fly, but what's actually happening is you're casting this heavy line and the fly's just coming along for the ride. You don't want to snap it. You want to let the line load up on the rod. So right now, waiting for the line to load. So you can see once that line straightens up, it puts the power into the rod and then you can transfer it. If you go too soon, it snaps, it falls on itself, and that's no good. So you want that power to transfer into the rod and then back into the line. Not an expert, but somewhere between 10 and 2. If you can stop at 10, stop at 2, stop at 10, and then when you have that forward momentum, then you're shooting it out and letting that line shoot out of your fingers and then ideally folds over nicely. So the type of hook set you're looking to do is called a strip set, which is, this is stripping, right? So when the fish hits, you're just pulling the line to do that strip hook set. A couple reasons is if you lift your rod, people call it a trout hook set, like I did on that last fish, you don't have nearly the pressure, and then as well, it often pulls your fly out of the water. So the thing about the strip set, when you go like this, is if that fish misses, if it doesn't hook up properly, that fly is still within a foot of his face. So you've got, you know, way more hooking pressure, And then as well, if he misses, then you have a second chance. So it's really tough to, you know, train yourself to not move the rod. You're just giving it, you know, a hard yank, but it's the way to do it. Well, the sun is basically set. I think that's gonna be it for today, but we will be back. Well, we upsized our vessel a little bit. Bigger lake, bigger boat, hopefully bigger fish. It's a little bit later in the year. There should be some weed growth now. So the style of fishing is gonna change a little bit. It'll be less finding the warmest water, more so finding those weed beds near the spawning areas, and hoping we can tangle with a big mama on the fly. That's the goal. We're gonna see, the goal for so many anglers is 40 inches. So if we can get a 40-incher on the fly, that'd be pretty sweet. We'll do a little shore lunch. I got some good vibes. I'm side imaging right now, driving around looking for weeds, also looking for fish, because a big pike will look like a log. And I do see one already. So I think we're gonna drop the trolling motor and start casting. Our weapons. One tip I can give you guys is fishing barefoot. You know, there's nothing worse than standing on your line when you're trying to shoot it out. So fishing barefoot is definitely something I like to do when I'm fly fishing, because you need to feel what's going on, and sometimes your line gets tangled. All right, we got the big boy net today. Should handle whatever we can find. We've found some weeds. I can't see them yet, but I see them on the electronics, so that's a good sign. That's where I'd expect the pike to be now. This is like such a textbook spot. Big weed bed in front of a spawning bay. I will not be surprised if there's a big mama living in here. To our right, we have a Canadian moose nest. What many people don't realize is that moose lay eggs. Luckily, the moose is not on the nest right now because they're very territorial. They'll actually swim out and charge your boat. So we'll count ourselves lucky today. The old Canadian moose nest. There might be a big pike in here right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a big pike. That's a big blob. That's a real big blob on live scope. Come on. He's coming. Got him. Oh, we are hooked up. I saw him on the electronics. Oh, that's a good pike. That is a good one. That is why we came back for more. I saw him on my electronics on the live scope sitting in the weeds. That's a big pike. So right now I want to reel up that slack, because bigger fish, it's nice to fight them on the reel. Wow, first bite of the day. That was so cool. Whew. This is what I'm talking about. Now we can fight him on the reel. He's coming towards me. I want to keep that line tight so it cuts any weeds. That is a nice big gator. What a start to the day. All right, I think we've tired her out. Oh, there we go. Well, about 10 minutes in, and I already count that as a success. Wow. That's why you want the big net for when they go crazy like that. A small net, that fish is gonna split its fins, it's gonna be a disaster. I like these big hoop cradles because there's enough mesh. You're gonna set, you know, the net on the side of the boat and the fish can chill, he can breathe, you know, you can deal with him in the water. Well, I don't know if that's 40 inches, but that's knocking pretty close on the door. Wow, it was so cool to see him just sitting in the weeds. And we got the right angle on the cast and he charged it. What a good battle. There we go. Yeah, 38 and a half. 30, almost touching 39. All right. There she goes. Amazing. I'd never been to the spot before, but looking on Google Maps, I saw a big spawning bay, and we found kind of the closest weeds to the mouth of it. So those fish kind of pull out from the back to nice green weeds. Green weeds, it holds the entire food chain. It's got the perch, it's got the minnows, it's just alive, right? So finding green weeds is so key when you get a little later in the season, and right there's proof, and I got slimed. Well, pretty good for the first spot of the day. We're gonna keep moving around. These are those weeds I'm talking about. Maybe not as green as you might like, but this is what pike call home. It's from this year. There it's a little bit greener. So sometimes when the wind isn't setting up properly, I'll cast on my backhand, because you never want the wind hitting your casting gear. That means that the fly is gonna fold over your face and potentially hook you. So something I'm always observant of. If you feel a breeze on your casting gear, no bueno. Some dirty water here. Dirty, dirty water, but thick weeds, thick weeds. More of a main lake weed bed we stumbled upon. It might be something sizable, 35 feet. It looks like a fish under the surface. I feel like a bug just hit my line or something. Ooh, it's right under here. Something small, maybe a walleye or something. I'd be fine with a walleye. Make him lunch. I'm just jigging the fly. Oh, it is a walleye. That's perfect. I was seeing a fish playing around with the fly. I'd say one of the less common species that people fly fish for would be walleyes, and that's a perfect eater. That guy is going to be lunch. Fish. Ooh, that feels nice. Swimming towards me. This fish feels good. Oh, wow. It is feeling really good. It's just staying down. I want to keep lots of pressure so it'll cut through the weeds. Oh, that's a nice pike. Wow, that fish is just staying down in the weeds. She's coming up. Oh, that's bigger than I thought. Okay, it might be better than the one this morning. And when that fish is fighting now, I'm just using my palm to apply any extra pressure. You don't want to try holding that because you're either gonna break the line or bust your knuckles. Oof. Trying to keep her out of the trolling motor. When you get into situations like this, you know, putting your rod in the water can save it. You don't want it to hook anything under the boat. So if I need to, I will, you know, keep it right down low. Oh man, what a fight. Oh, that happened fast. Yeah, that's bigger than the last one. Whew, that is what we came for right there. That is a big Canadian gator right there. Whew. All right, let's see where that fly is. Look at that, it is in there. There we go, flies out. Oh, okay, well I thought she might have been smaller than the other one, but that is definitely an upper size fish. That is way bigger than the one this morning, way fatter, longer. Whew, 41, awesome. That fish has some weight. Look at the head on that. So that was a bit of a longer fight. And the biggest thing is just hold on to that fish. And if you do want to move it all in the water, do a little bit of side to side. And if you go forwards, just pull it back very slowly. I'm not rushing it. We're holding in spot right now. Once I feel her starting to kick, I'll let her go. But just want to let her regain her strength because that was quite a battle. There she goes. My heart was pounding. When I first saw it, I didn't think it was that big, and then the longer I fought it, it slowly got bigger. But I mean, that was, yeah, 41 inches. Fat. That is why you fly fish for pike. That was an absolute blast. Looks like there may be a storm coming. We're gonna start by cooking the fish. We have time, I'm gonna have a potato too, but we're just gonna do some chipotle walleyes. Those are looking golden and crispy. We got lunch done just in time for the rain. It's not supposed to rain all day though. If I didn't catch another pike all day, it's been a phenomenal day in paradise. But this is so good. I don't get super creative with my cooking because like how do you go wrong with pan-fried walleyes? Like you can't. I'm gonna crush this plate of walleye and fries very quickly. or head back out for a couple hours. Hopefully the rain lets up a little bit. It's supposed to. And I mean, I'm a greedy fisherman. I want a couple more pike, so see if we can do it. Well, I was very content with that 41, but we got a bigger one. This is a true monster. Oh, line's a little bit wrapped. Oh, wow, that is a big pike. She's looking a little bit tired. We're gonna unhook her real quick. Oh, we're gonna pop that fly out of the corner. And she had a long fight, so we're not taking any time. We're not even gonna measure this one. Whew, that's a tank. When fish get stressed, they'll show some red on their fins, some red on the side, and just the best thing you can do is get that fish back in the water. Oh, I was content with the 41. We didn't measure that one, so you can't really see how big it was, but I think it was bigger.